This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map Battle Base Beta for the Win 71 Grand Finals, a double elimination tournament coming down to this last best of 7. In the top right-hand corner, the winner of the Winners Finals. This is Dimon. He's yellow and Soviets in the bottom left-hand corner, making it back from the losers bracket into the Grand Finals for a rematch as the Purple Empire. This is DDF. Deep Dark Fantasy, fulfilling our deep dark fantasies of Empire vs. Soviet games, because we get to see these guys rematch in a reverse of roles. Now keep in mind, in the winners bracket finals, that DDF and Dimon, who normally both play Soviets, did decide to mix things up, and Dimon played Empire. But now it's the reverse, so we get to see DDF as Empire. Does he do better? Does he do worse? Because there were definitely some powerhouse matches from DDF in that series, so I'm excited to see how he handles Empire in this series. It looks like with a very late oil derrick capture, as Dimon going to have control of his oil derrick pretty darn quickly. Super reactor after 2 refineries, so he's delaying his war factory by a ton. On the contrast, we have the Mecha Bay up and running in just a few seconds, but it's after the MCV move. So both of these guys going delayed war factory. No walls to try and block anything, so he's not going to be forcing Sickles to jump in. He's going to be potentially vulnerable to Terror Drones, especially with the repairs on the high ground. What are you doing, Dimon? Fast airfield and a flak cannon follow-up. And now keep in mind, this is getting spotted. There are burst drones, aka dragonflies, out here to see what is what, and a Tengu as well going for the transform. Will be able to get some damage on this harvester, and I guess the flak trooper is going to be able to potentially put the hurt on that Tengu, but this is now into a low economy kind of a mode for Dimon. DDF not setting his 3rd refinery up just yet. He's got that power plant up on the high ground as well. Bears getting eliminated, it looks like, by these Imperial Warriors, and even the dojo going up, which means there's a potential of a cap. The engineer is out. The bear, ooh, not fast enough. Engineer into the structure it goes, and can you send an engineer into a structure, or does it heal? Okay, good. So the engineer is still there. He did not, like, heal up that structure or something like that. This isn't Red Alert 2. 3rd refinery out on the water. All of this without a war factory. So this is pretty unorthodox from Dimon. I don't remember ever seeing something like this. Although maybe this is like the new meta and I just don't realize it. Even a flak cannon going to be getting dropped. No, it's like a Tesla coil out here on the water. The MiG is here to deal with the Tengus, but of course the transform is going to save one Tengu from certain death. The Tesla coil half done, half of that built, and the twin blade going to be loading up with a flak trooper. So, ooh, this MiG is going down. Easy peasy, nice transform of one Tengu. The second 2 Tengus will be able to escape, and this Tesla coil firing up will not get the kill. Down to the last second there is DDF, so we're seeing perfect transforms from DDF. War Factory finally going down. Extremely close proximity to that super reactor, but pretty much guarantees that if the super reactor goes down, this stuff is probably already dead, and, well, Dimon at that point is probably already dead. Tengu's back off, 3 of them so low on hit points. And there is going to be the 3rd refinery up and running in just a couple of moments for DDF. No flak cannon over here, so always vulnerable to potential Chopper VX attacks. Although, no Tier 2 on the Mecha Bay just yet. Could be researching right at this moment. We'll have to see. He's kind of slow on the build time there. So yeah, it is going to be Tier 2. It wasn't a Tengu popping out. A couple of tank busters here. 5 of them out on the field. Maybe even 6, as this dojo is still here. MCV packed up. Hammer tanks now out onto the field. And hey, we can do a lot with twin blades and hammer tanks. A couple of bullfrogs mixed in as well, but these tank busters get close. If they're able to close the distance, then they can make short work of this army. Bullfrogs will get sliced and diced in literal seconds to this army. Nice block of the barracks there. Hammer tanks going to be showing up. 3 of them out on the field there. If they can get on top of these tank busters. It'll be pretty much lights out for the tank busters. For now, the tank busters doing a good job keeping distance between them, turning around and getting a kill nearly on that hammer tank, doing so much DPS. One of the tank busters actually going all the way up to heroic just on these barracks. And Bullfrogs getting pulled back as well. Onto the high ground goes the con yard, but forcing him to build and rebuild barracks is pretty annoying there. As actually now 2 veteran tank busters also here. So this is a lot of veterancy being handed away to these tank busters, but it's enough time to get double walls up and running for Dimon. 5 Tengus here on the high ground. Defender Corps going to be going down. 4 refineries up and running, at least in a moment here it will be. Naval Yard here to stop terror drones from having an easy time of the harass. Bears going to be parachuted over here, and if they stay to fight the bears, well then of course it means that the Desolator airstrike is going to claim 5 tank busters getting killed there. An Imperial Warrior as well. So that was probably one of the more effective Desolator airstrikes that we've seen in the last couple of games. These two guys, both of them so well versed at versing each other. Terror Drone going to be stepping forward, locking down one of those Tengus, and going to be forcing, I guess, trying to bait Imperial Warriors or Tank Busters into the Toxins so that they can do a little bit of damage there. No Terror Drone getting dropped off by this Twin Blade. I'm not actually sure if there's anything inside of this Twin Blade. I know there was potentially a Flak Trooper hopping on into that guy earlier, but this War Collector going to be getting harassed a little bit there. Defender Corps on the front lines could be able to force an engagement here, as all of these infantry going to be stepping on forward, and actually it does barely survive, although it is going to go down in just a moment there. Yeah, it does finally go down, so money down the drain, and I've just healed up these hammer tanks a little bit here, so not really very effective for DDF. Although over at the water expansion, 4 Chopper VX is going to be able to kill this Tesla coil. So that's money down the drain. That Tesla coil, I don't think, fired off a single time over the course of this game. It's all just free damage out here, and the flak cannon is now going to be going up. But at this point, they may actually be able to get the kill on the flak cannon before it finishes constructing, although they keep changing targets, so not good prioritization there by DDF. And instead, he will maybe get it. He's going to have to be careful with these Chopper VXs. He doesn't want to give too many of them away, although their dying bodies may also do a bit of damage. There's a big transform from those Tengus, and now can the Tengus actually get the kill on the Harvester? The answer is no. They're going to be turning around. Tank Busters inside of this building, going to be killing the conscripts before they can actually do anything, and DDF making good use of his infantry. Eventually will go down to those conscripts as they are getting shot a little bit there. Akula subs on the low ground out to try and deal with this expansion over there. And the refinery does go down, so DDF getting some actual value for these infantry units, and they nearly make it into that building. One of them does go down, the other one does make it into that building, but now back onto the main base. These conscripts having a lot of things to shoot at, but not enough things to shoot at before the refinery goes down, and now the tank busters turn around. There's so many tank busters that they can actually slice and dice those conscripts into little teeny tiny pieces as the hammer tanks show up on the low ground. This is a huge amount of hammer tanks. If Dimon could possibly get an engagement, he could actually crush the army of DDF, but DDF is not going to give that kind of engagement over. Oh my gosh, are all of the Bullfrogs gone? Was it only the 2 Bullfrogs out there on the water? It looks like the answer is yes. A couple of Flak Troopers may still be here to do a bit of damage, but Dimon is just getting manhandled, although he is catching a huge group of infantry over there. He's going to be giving away potentially another refinery to these Chopper VXs. Kula sub, it looks like it went down there on the water. I guess Yari mini subs dealing with that or something, as these Chopper VXs are going to be dealing with the Civ structure from the water, so they're going to be forcing that conscript out into the open. And I guess claiming a couple more units there. Those Desolator Toxins going to be able to get another kill. Hammer tanks being given away, trying to break that structure. And Harvesters forced off the line. Dimon in absolute disarray as DDF he's breaking through with just like pure harassment. He has not had to engage these hammer tanks directly, except with his, well, now his tsunami tanks. His tank busters were the only thing directly engaging the hammer tanks previously, and now the tsunami tank is going to be rushing forward. Keep in mind, his real goal here is to just use the honorable discharge to splash down those hammer tanks, which is why you saw that guy rush forward to even the odds, and now hammer tanks are just getting annihilated by these tsunami tanks' superior numbers. Dimon, he's got nothing to go on there. DDF pushing forward with the Empire ranks. Dimon, it's like he's a little bit too late for everything. Oh my gosh, even another refinery potentially going down there. He's locking down a couple of tsunami tanks. He's going to get the crush with his MCV, but that's it? That, I don't think it was quite out there, but it certainly would have been difficult for Dimon to come back. Real quick here, huge drop-off in the units there by Libra, but actually no, that was Dimon. But even so, he was way, in terms of infantry, way ahead of Dimon in terms of total units, and then dropped way down there to where Dimon was. And real quick, 52,000 versus 39,000, so 13,000 credits more of stuff for DDF. And again, I thought Dimon maybe had a chance to pull something together there, but as the game went on, it looked like it was just going to be turning up DDF later and later. So let's jump into game number 2. Keep in mind, this is a best of 7, so one game doesn't mean as much. Can Dimon bring things back in game number 2? Which takes us to Infinity Isle. On the left-hand side, as our yellow Soviets, this is Dimon. On the right-hand side, as our purple Empire, this is DDF. In total control that last game, making it work for him. DDF feeling pretty good, going up 1-0. Now keep in mind, this is the winner's bracket final. Dimon, of course, won the previous series, which means DDF has a long road to go. He at least has a best of 7 and then probably a best of 5 after that. I don't know exactly how these guys decided to play this out, but if this goes to an extended series, yikes. For DDF to win this, he basically has to win 8 games if it goes to like an extended best of 7. So, 2 refineries up. War Factory going to be going after that, so no super reactor first kind of shenanigans from Dimon. And of course, Infinity Isle, it's a different kind of a map from Battle Base Beta, but you do have this kind of central location, just similar in Battle Base Beta. Battle Base Beta, I guess, is a little more open, maybe, but yeah, they both do have that convergence along the center path quite heavily. Fire Island, for example, feels a little more 3-pathy, and Battle Base Beta and Infinity Isle feel much more 1-pathy. Of course, they're all 3 paths, you know, you got the one north and south on the water, but so much of it focuses along this ridge. Some potential sickle harassment opportunity. Ooh, Dimon. No, he won't be giving away that sickle. I was a little bit worried there, but no, sickle is going to be potentially getting the kill on the tank buster there. That Bullfrog very low on HP. It is going to go down. Oh, gifting that first Bullfrog. Even the Terror Drone inside of the sickle also goes down. So this is a very awkward opening for Dimon. His Terror Drones are locked out. He didn't get the sickle harass that he was potentially looking to. And actually, both of the oil derricks are now under DDF's control. He's even got a defender core here. So the ordinary early game Bullfrog sickles, if they try and walk out of the base, they're actually going to take a lot of damage. And burst and diving with the burst drones. Getting the kill on that sickle just with burst drones, that is like mean-spirited by DDF. A great play, but mean-spirited nonetheless. He is making this frustrating to be Dimon. You're locking down one Tengu while the other Tengu is getting some damage on this Harvester. Yeah, the Tesla coil is here, but this Tengu can dance around the Tesla coil. It can transform at the last second before the Tesla coil is charged up and ready to fight. It's forced lost mining time, and we'll have to see. Yep, there's the easy transform. DDF gets on out of there, so that cost him very little. Although if he loses the Tengu, it will cost him something. So he just needs to get some repairs on that Tengu, and then he can call it a day. Getting himself a third refinery up and running. A terror drone is hanging out on this refinery location, so not going to allow a refinery to go down there, which, you know, that's what Dimon would love, if DDF drops the cash on a refinery and then loses it to the terror drone. There's a transform at a safe distance, and pretty good micro there from Dimon, trying to lock those two Tengus in position, but as I say, good micro. He actually does not continue that stop micro, and instead loses the terror drone. So fourth refinery coming up for DDF. He's got that tier 2 on that mecha bay, and the MCV is actually going to pack up and back up just a little bit. I guess he wants to maybe extend the walls a little bit further. I'm not sure why he moved the MCV just a little bit there. Hammer tanks are going to be able to leech down this defender core, but these bears are kind of far away to defend those hammer tanks against the tank busters. I like this defense, this kind of lock-in by DDF. He's got just enough invested that it's going to be annoying for Dimon to break out, and it's going to delay anything. But, ooh, if you get a hammer tank, then this is, like, great move here. Bears, this is a really messy engagement, as 2 Imperial Warriors do escape, but 3 bears end up going down, and the bears will get the kill on the last 2 Imperial Warriors, which means these tank busters have got to get on out of there. Now, the Defender Corps did get the kill on 1 hammer tank, so this is a very weird engagement, as actually the bear getting caught behind the MCV almost goes down, but the bear does survive, which means the hammer tanks will also be okay. The bear camped out right in the middle of that tank buster surprise, so it's going to be okay. Oh, this Chopper VX may not actually get the kill on the Tesla coil because the Bullfrog is here to actually get the kill on that Chopper VX, and there are going to be 2 Tengus turning around and getting on out of here. For the rest of the Harvesters, they're actually up and running, so okay. So Dimon stabilizing very nicely. You know, he's keeping everything safe, he's keeping everything operational, and, you know, he busted out of his main base. He's got his 4th refinery up and running. It's not really that far behind the expansions of his opponent. What it is behind is the tech of his opponent. We saw that tier 2 go down so long ago, and then, of course, the walls are buying a lot of time. We've seen Empire players love this tactic, kind of a variation on Eminence's wall swag tactic, which is a little bit more aggressive and dependent on those walls. Ooh, that lovely engineer going to be dropping over there, and it looks like a naval yard also going to be going down on the low ground for Dimon. Also going to be calling in satellites. Wow, because it's taking his hammer tank that long. Wow, he just walked into that. Now, keep in mind, he's got lots of opportunities to leech that hammer tank back up to full health. He's actually going to be doing it with his MCV, not even with the civilian structure, which is a curious case there. And Terror Drone going to be heading out over here, of course. Oh, this is actually Tier 2 Naval Yard, so that's really curious. We're up to Tier 3 now, so using that nanotech mainframe. He's not, right? He's not. He is. He went Tier 3, so he can probably sell off that nanotech mainframe. I don't know that anything he's building after this is really going to need it, since he's gone Tier 3 both locations. He's a very expensive naval yard. If he loses this to the Akula sub, he needs to kill the Terror Drone so that he has the opportunity. Although the Chopper VXs are also here, he's actually going to kill the Terror Drone with the Tengu by getting it infected and then repaired. So this is, alright guys, here we go. Naginatana. Naginata, I know, Naginata. Anyways, Wave Force Tower actually going down because, yeah, keeping an Imperial Docks when it's Tier 3 alive is important. Both of the torpedoes going to be firing off there on that Imperial Docks, and Naginata is going to have to turn around, and it's just going to have to chase that Akula sub for days. These Tengus actually going to be going for the kill on that Naval Yard, so that is how much he wants to shut this down. Now, keep in mind that you need like 4 or 5 Akula subs to get the kill on a Naval Yard instantly. One Shogun battleship is out, and it's going to be very close as to whether or not this Akula is going to get the kill. It barely does not get the kill. Into the low power mode goes DDF. Wave Force Artillery on the front line. Oh my gosh. No way. He's not, right? He's not, right? I mean, Natasha's out, so since these two guys are just playing no rush 20 minutes, you might as well. Of course, thing to keep in mind, one guy is locked to ground only. Well, I guess he does have air. We could see some Kirovs. But, you know, the other guy has Shogun battleships out on the water. So, like, this refinery is pretty much done. The MCV taking some shells. So you gotta make something happen here. Looks like V4's trading blows with the Wave Force Artillery, and he's trying to get some kind of kill here with the V4. Easily avoided by those Wave Force Artillery V4 rockets. You gotta be careful so that they don't get you, because they do a lot of damage when they do. But gets the kill on the V4, so nicely avoided there. And I guess calling down satellites. But Harvester gets the free repairs, and sooner or later you're going to have to deal with this stuff out on the water. He's choosing to do so with a terror drone. Fires off the special ability of the Naginata, and actually from the high ground, the perfect 1-2 punch here by Dimon. A great choice, and makes the Naginata unusable for the current moment. And actually, what is it, a 1-2 punch when Eureka Omega shows up in your base and kills your super reactor? I don't remember what that's called. It's something specific, I promise. Twin Blades get the kill on Eureka, but it almost doesn't matter. This may be a defeat of this army, but it's kind of a hollow victory. You know, Dimon can win this. He can. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be real difficult. Super Reactor going there is a huge win for DDF. And oh my gosh, he's actually going to save this Shogun battleship as well. So right there, the Terror Drone gets eliminated from that double vet Shogun battleship. And this is going to be a serious throw or a huge comeback. Actually, Twin Blades getting some nice damage on this Shogun battleship. Tengu's way out of position, and no Sea Wings here for the defense either. So Dimon, the nice thing for Dimon is DDF isn't pushing land. Now, keep in mind, he did blow the super reactor over there, yeah, with Eureka, whatever. But he's not pushing directly with land, which means delay tactics, making use of this ledge. These are all Dimon's friends. He is 4 refinery versus 4 refinery. He's down the oil derrick, sure. He's also down an MCV, which I assume he's rebuilding. No, he's not actually rebuilding, so I don't think he got a sneaky crane out there, which means if he didn't get a sneaky crane, he's going to be in low production forever. So, and low power mode, which means extended production forever, which just means DDF is going to have an easier time keeping an army advantage. Also, dropping a Defender Corps way the heck over here just to make this even more difficult. Now, Shogun Sudden Transport going to be hanging out over here. And the Bear will, I assume, get sniped. Although, this Shogun, its Sudden Transport, may be worth about as much as a Shogun battleship. The Twin Blades all do go down. I think it's okay to give away some of these Tengus when you're in this kind of a position. For now, the Sudden Transport does survive, and DDF wanted to make darn sure that, although one Twin Blade does survive, well, he wanted to make sure that that. All right, so Dimon, I'm going to guess, did back out of that game. DDF with a 2-0 victory over Dimon. Very surprising lead there. And love to see Eureka come in and play some matches. Love to see some of that action. But that will do it for game number 2. A great showcase there by DDF. How to get tier 3 and then totally waste your opponent. And Dimon, not able to clinch the comeback, but he's still got a little bit of breathing room. He's not comfortable being down 0-2 in his own grand finals. But let's see what happens in game number 3, which takes us to Cabana Republic. In the bottom left-hand corner is the Purple Empire, moving as MCV. This is DDF. On the right side as the Yellow Soviets, this is Dimon. Refinery going down for Dimon. Let's hope that these guys stay operational, unlike some of the previous games that we've seen from Dimon, where DDF has just been manhandling his refineries. And MCV repacking in a very slightly different location, which I guess is important for reasons that are clear to DDF. And I definitely know why you move the MCV onto the land, but I'm not sure about that repackaging just right there. I guess he wanted to get the Mecha Bay in a slightly different location or something. I don't know. Power plant also going down before the pack up of the MCV. Moving to the high ground. Only the 2 dojos out for DDF, so he's not going dojo crazy. You know, sometimes we see Empire players get 4 or 5 dojos just to keep the bears at bay, just to try and do sneaky things like grab your opponent's oil derrick. And in that case, Dimon does get his oil derrick. The bear does get crushed by DDF, and I assume the engineer is going to pop on out and grab the cap right there. Oil derricks for everyone. Kind of like an AK-47. Same deal for sure. Super reactor going down before the MCV move for the third refinery. So trying to keep away the Tengu harass. Sells off the wall a little bit preemptively. Dimon going to be keeping an eye, I guess, on the Tengus of his opponent. He's got the flak cannon here, and nice micro there by Dimon. Going to be keeping the flak trooper busy with killing a dojo core and a mecha Tengu as he's locking down both of those units. Tengu does turn around and run back home. Keep in mind the sentry gun is going to be keeping a watchful eye over these 2 refineries. There's actually a bear going to be camped out in front of this dojo to try and get any free kills, to get any loose units that might be running around. 2 terror drones in the north. The dojo did go down. The Tengu did go down, so that is a nice little advantage for Dimon. Tier 2 immediately. So I think that was 2 Tengus into Tier 2 for DDF. Third refinery up and running. Walls are in place, which means no easy kills. And of course, why would you even bother infecting these harvesters down here? They're going to be immediately healed by that war factory, and you'll be offline in terms of the terror drone. Chopper VX, is he going to get a lucky kill? A lucky catch for this Chopper VX. It must be his birthday or something. And this poor hammer tank. Bye-bye. It was nice knowing you. That, I don't know, critical mistake seems like an overstatement, but like, man, losing that first hammer tank? Yikes. He does know that the Mecha Bay is Tier 2, so he knows that the investment has been made, which of course killing that Mecha Bay means that you gotta spend that cash once again. But like, losing that hammer tank, it just like cuts out the beef of your army from the very beginning. You're down that hammer tank that you were expecting to have. Getting a kill on a couple of Tengus would definitely be nice. Help to even that up a little bit here. And 3 Tengus could go for the transform, but they're going to have to be careful about that sentry gun. They don't want to engage on top of it. Well, already loses 1 Tengu, so things starting to even up, and might want to kill these civilian structures just to make sure that no flak troopers are stationed in them a little bit later. No flak troopers, get some free DPS. MCV packs up. I'm not sure what it's doing there. I assume he's going to be heading out to the water for some potential expansion opportunities. He's looking to franchise, you could say. And yeah, that Chopper VX taking a lot of damage from those flak troopers, which actually, is that a MiG? No, it's a Twin Blade, and Bullfrogs going to be running defense on that third refinery location. Dimon, Okay, there's the MCV. I was getting really worried for a couple of moments there as that MCV being absent. It will get caught out, not really caught, but more just spotted by this Chopper VX. Again, DDF wants to keep an eye on what his opponent is doing. A combo Chopper VX Tengu harassment team. Oh, losing this Chopper. That's free. Yikes. A little bit of a mistake there by DDF, but transforming it would not have necessarily saved it. Gonna get a little bit of damage on the MiG. That's always nice, you know. Hey, if he doesn't have a crane, then that damage might be permanent. Buildings all over the map under the control of Dimon. Also going to be dropping a barracks as well. I assume a 4th refinery will follow in short order. Twin Blades is going to be getting a little bit of damage on these civilian structures, but really you just want to clear these things out. You don't want to give your opponent that vision. You don't want to give them that foothold to have in the middle of the map. All right, MCV finally on the move over to the water expansions in the north. MiGs showing up here. Tank Buster did go down to the Twin Blades. We'll be able to get the kill on this other Tank Buster. It takes a little while, but you get the kill eventually there. Hammer tanks, bullfrogs in the middle of the map, taking a little bit of damage from these Imperial Warriors. I assume they're going to be cleaned up without too much trouble. Satellites getting called down on the barracks. Could be able to finish off the oil derrick with the Twin Blades relatively quickly. And 4th and 5th refineries coming up for DDF. So he is going to be an Empire player if he loses a hammer tank here. Yikes. Okay, Dimon doesn't lose the hammer tank here. He's going to be able to leech down a couple of these buildings. He's going to be able to get the repairs that way while the 4th and the 5th refineries get established. The 4th refinery now up and operational for Dimon. He's dropping a flak cannon there as well, which is going to make Chopper VXs and Tengu harass a little bit more difficult. Ooh, Twin Blades getting caught out in the open by the Tengus. Gonna be, well, where are the MiGs? The MiGs could get a kill on this Chopper VX so quickly. If the Chopper VX gets a hammer tank, that's going to be very frustrating. The MiGs potentially getting caught out by some Tengus, but Tengus do transform in the north, and this Chopper VX does go down to the Bullfrogs in the south. This Harvester taking a lot of damage over there from those Tengus. This guy off the line, so 4 refineries, but only 2 of them really working at proper capacity, and this guy is also off the line. He's trying to draw that Tengu over to that sentry gun to get the kill on the Tengu. In the north, Naval Yard here up and operational. A couple more power plants going to be getting dropped as well. No Tier 3, just still pushing out those Tier 2 Mecha Bay units, although Tengu's not actually Tier 2. Ooh, Tengu's not going to get killed, although this guy is going to get killed. He gets the kill on the Harvester and not even restarted yet. So that's 3 refineries for a long time, and a free Twin Blade as well. He's going to transform, and he's definitely going to get the kill if he uses the splash damage, although that's a double Vet Tengu you're giving away there. But that's 2 Harvesters not even started when they go down. So that's a long time lost mining, plus having the cost of having to rebuild that Harvester. And, you know, this Terror Drone not going to be able to do a whole lot. Yari Minisub could be produced to deal with that. Oil derrick captured for DDF, so that's what that dojo was for a little while ago. And the Harvester will get repairs as well as these Tengus. They're going to get back up to full HP before too long. And this Harvester can go back to work, collecting ore, you know, making money for our Empire player DDF. All right. 4 refineries, not operational. 3 of them are, though. So again, man, just does not feel good. Oh, catching! Yikes. Oh. Dimon. Let's, real quick. Yeah. He saw those 2 refineries up there. He knew that, A, he didn't have an opportunity to do anything with a Terror Drone. And, 2, he just lost pretty much everything in his airfield, spending so many thousands of credits on air units only to lose them all to Tengus catching you by surprise. 10,000 credits in the advantage of DDF. That is the story of that game. And DDF making a good use of the big open map Cabana Republic. Dimon now has to 4-0 Libra to close this series out, and Libra just has to win 1 game to reset everything and head into an extended series. That will do it for this game. Who is going to take game number 4? Which takes us to Fire Island for game number 4. And match point of this fellow in the top right-hand corner, DDF, is the Purple Empire, is the Yellow Soviets in the bottom left-hand corner. This is Dimon, the preliminary finalist. You know, this guy beat the winner's bracket, and he is here waiting as the Grandmaster, as the champion for this challenger, DDF, who in this series is making it look silly. Man, that winner's bracket final was an absolute, like, neck and neck between these two guys. It almost could not have been closer between them. But this series is all coming up DDF, and not just in the score. Most of the games are just, like, so clearly in DDF's favor. He is handling this match so well. And at this point, it almost feels like Dimon winning would be an upset, even though coming into this day, I would have said Dimon is the clear favorite, and I would be surprised if DDF could take 3 maps, let alone 3 maps in a row, off of Dimon. And now it feels like for Dimon to win game number 4 would be bizarre. Now, of course, we saw in the winner's bracket final that absolutely can happen. Double oil derrick capture going off for DDF. He doesn't get the cash back on the second one, but he got that one nice and clear. So, War Factory coming down, and it is going to be double reactor. So, no super reactor before the MCV move. Hammer tanks are going to be a little bit delayed, but it was War Factory after the 2 refineries. So, the focus on the eco. A single wall segment. It's not as big of a delay as like what Dimon does, where he drops an entire set of walls. But man, just dropping that one, it's annoying. It is very irritating. Couple of Tengus going to be popping on out. Sickles going for the harass in combination with this Terror Drone. Lovely walls here, going to be forcing the Sickles to jump in, which is a bit more of a commitment for the Sickles. And Tengus, they're going for the harassment themselves. A couple of Flak Troopers out on the field could be going for the kill on those oil derricks. And actually, this Terror Drone is going to get the infect on that Tengu, so that Tengu is just going to decide to hang out and get as much damage on that ore collector as he possibly can. 3 Sickles here, which actually, with the MCV packing up, these Sickles are in a bit of a dangerous position. And of course, the Terror Drone, if he tries to infect, it doesn't even matter because the Mecha Bay is so close. 1 Sickle going down, 2 Sickles do still remain. And this Harvester, okay, it's back online for DDF. That's one of those things that you hate to see, is if a player doesn't realize that their Harvester is not harvesting, and then they're down on like 1 refinery economy without even realizing it. But 2 racks up and running. Hopefully my cat shaking her collar isn't providing too much noise, as she likes her pets, and which kind of makes it sound like she has a pet. But she likes getting petted, and she likes sitting on my lap, which is not good during a cat. So Sickle's going to be running ring around the rosy with these Mecha Bays, or with these Mecha Tengus. And this Harvester finally going down, it looks like. And by down, I mean it's off the line, getting some repairs. Tengu's going for the harass, but really the Tank Busters are going to get the kill on that refinery if they're allowed to. There's the split of the Tank Busters. Oh, almost getting run over there by that MCV. And this guy will get run over by that MCV. Of course, Tengus could get trapped as well. And this attack is not going how he imagined. He, of course, being Dimon. What? Wow, really? Okay. So I guess... so that's a... Alright, yeah. He wasn't in a good position. I don't know that he was in a game-ending position, but he was not in a good position. I guess Dimon loses there. A clear 0-4 for DDF, and we'll have to see. We go to an extended series, and we'll have to see what happens there. But, let's jump right into it. Which takes us to Infinity Isle for the extended series. I'm going to guess that this is a best of 7. It might be a best of 5. We'll have to find out when we see the score at the end. On the left-hand side, as the Yellow Soviets, this is Dimon. On the right-hand side, as the Purple Empire, this is DDF. I don't know if I'm going to break this into 2 parts or not. If this is 2 best of 7s, I may break this into 2 parts. But if this is like 2 best of 5s, or not 2 best of 5s, a best of 7 and a best of 5, that kind of thing, then I don't know. We'll have to see. At any rate, this is a heck of a lot of games potentially for these guys. Now, of course, DDF making short work of Dimon in that previous series, going 4-0. Some of those games just like in the 3 to 5 minute range. So not as long, but then also a couple of them going the distance. Actually, the one on same spawns on Infinity Isle. We'll have to see if this is going to be a repeat. If we get to see another Eureka play like that, I assume Dimon will be ready for it this time. But that would also be pretty sweet. We got a bunch of tank busters loading up, and looks like it's going to be 4 of them out here. Going to be getting the kill on the bear over there. Another terror drone, actually, not a bear, going to be heading in from the north. Walls are up on that refinery. Walls are up on this refinery. 2 Imperial Warriors going to potentially be going for the kill there. And this civ structure has been captured by Dimon, so he's got that bit of intel. I believe in the other one, the sickle ended up dying in the middle of the map, which is never a good feeling. Mecha Bay up and running. Of course, no third ref just yet, but no tier 2 on the Mecha Bay right away. Walls are coming up for DDF. Empire players seem to love their walls in the middle of this map. No water expansion coming up for Dimon. So his MCV is on the move to the high ground, drops a super reactor before the move out, and I believe it was War Factory before the super reactor, but it was definitely War Factory before the super reactor. I'm not sure if it was War Factory before the second refinery. I was talking about something else, who knows. Anyways, we did have a pretty early terror drone, but, you know, not doing a whole lot right now. And DDF, dropping those walls, as I mentioned, haven't connected them just yet, and I'm really surprised he hasn't either gotten tier 3 or tier 2, excuse me, or a refinery up. But there's the refinery there. Tank Buster surprise in the south of Dimon's side of the island. Gets the kill on the Harvester very quickly before escaping on away. This sub-transport has enough health to escape for now. So jumping in, getting the... Ooh, these Tengus are going to have to turn around. That would be an amazing kill for that terror drone to get on a sudden transport with 4 tank busters inside of it. Rebuilding the walls, the Harvester is almost back online. Third refinery up and operational for Dimon. A little bit faster than DDF's third refinery. This game feels a whole lot different than that other one on Infinity Isle. Dimon feels like he's in a much better position. And I mean, hey, if he doesn't let his opponent get up to tier 3 as easily as that previous game, then he will be feeling a lot better when he doesn't have Shoguns shooting his MCV on the ridge. And now he's going to be sending his MCV out for that water expansion. So Dimon, in that game number 4, you know, he could have tried to fight it out, but almost certainly, you know, like 99.9% chance DDF is going to win that series, and it's like you can try and exhaust yourself trying to win that last game that you almost certainly are going to lose, or mentality-wise, just like go for the clean slate. Oh my gosh, he's going to get the infect. And this is far enough away from the Mecha Bay that it might get a kill. Oh my gosh, it's going to get a kill on that refinery. What a difference a game can make. Infinity Isle looking entirely different one way versus the other. Getting the kill on that refinery is like definitely the confidence boost that Dimon needs, and now DDF forced to kill his own Harvester. He didn't want to take the chance of it making it back to that Mecha Bay. He just wanted to get the kill on it, kill the Terror Drone, be done with it, get the rebuild started immediately. But still, this is so much cash behind where he was. There's no Eureka in that sudden transport. This is not that other game. Another Tengu going to be coming in for the harass. Airfield still a little close to that super reactor, but I don't think it's going to be under quite the same threat as it was in that last game. Hammer Tank's going to make short work of this Mecha Tengu, and the Bullfrogs are there with the MiG just to make sure. A couple of Tengus are going to be chasing away these Bullfrogs. If they can get the kill on one, which they won't, that would have been a nice starting to even the odds, starting to kind of bring things back into balance for DDF. He's going to have to hightail it out of there with this sudden transport. He keeps hoping that he's going to be able to catch that ore collector. Wow, things are really coming up Dimon in this game. So much more than what we saw before. And now it's just like, who was that guy who played that other best of 7 against DDF? Because that guy got wasted by DDF. And this new guy is in control. He's powered up to 4 refineries. He's got his oil derrick. He's successfully harassed. He's killed a harvester of his opponent. He just crushed 4 tank busters with 1 hammer tank in like the easiest move. Like DDF doesn't even have a keyboard kind of easy. Going to be dropping a terror drone, getting an infect while, well, he's going to be losing some MiGs, but considering the damage that he's doing, and he's actually clearing out a couple of the Tengus as well, decides to sacrifice the MiG and gets 1 more kill. The harvester goes down. Things are coming up Dimon. Could even leech down that wall. And wow, even dropping a hammer tank into your opponent's base. Yeah, you lose the twin blade, but if you get yourself another harvester kill, then that actually is kind of worth it. And actually, this hammer tank, I don't know where he's driving. For now, the harvester will escape out onto the water. And this hammer tank, I assume, is going to get surrounded or something. Calling in satellites. Yep, it's going to be the satellites on top of this harvester. He's going to try and force the harvester out. And no, the harvester doesn't go out, so he loses another harvester. Big damage done to the refinery as well. Now in the north, a couple more Tengus going for the harass. Out on the water, Yari mini-subs could start targeting down that naval yard, and the Twin Blade will get the kill on that Tengu, while the harvester pulls away with that reactive armor. Harvester back on the way. The walls have been rebuilt to protect that ore refinery, at least for now. And this harvester may not actually be able to get back to work just this moment. Chopper VX will finally be able to deal with that hammer tank. I thought these MiGs were going to come in for the kill on the Chopper VX and allow the hammer tank to do even more damage, but they get both of the Tengus. No transform to save them there. Another hammer tank being dropped in. What kind of harass is this that Dimon is going for? Dropping hammer tanks on your opponent, and DDF is having none of it. Wow, what a way to regain control, to say, you are not the captain, I am the captain now. An amazing, just like, comeback. Holy cow, it's amazing to think about Dimon in that whole last series. Flustered, silly-looking Dimon getting pushed around by the schoolyard bully DDF, aka Libra, and now in this series, the beginning of it at least, a totally different player. I am now so excited for game number 2. This bash is looking to be an even fight. And it continues on Battle Base Beta. As we look up into the north, the Purple Empire, this is DDF, down 0-1 in this new extended series. And in the left-hand side, in the bottom, this is the Yellow Soviets, Dimon. Going dual racks in the opening. I like me a spicy dual racks from the Soviets. Always such a mix of openings on this map. I think dual racks is really the most Raximum kind of a build that you can go as allies or Soviets. I don't think I've ever seen an allied or a Soviet player go triple racks in an opening. But 2 is not terribly uncommon. I feel like it's out of fashion. Like it used to, I feel like you used to see it more, but maybe it's just for the players who really enjoy Battle Base Beta. They really enjoy fighting it out in the middle of the map. And of course, hey, if you can trade out 1-to-1 conscripts with Imperial Warriors, Soviet player is always going to like that trade. If you pick up a couple of dojo cores as well that your opponent had to spend cash on and you get for free, they're going to like that even more. 4 or 5 conscripts stepping forward. They're trying desperately to get the kill on that dojo core. They're not quite going to be able to do it. Third refinery coming up nice and early for DDF. And Dimon, instead, going to be going War Factory after both refineries, which, understandably, when you drop the dual racks, you want to get those refineries up and rolling pretty darn quickly. And then this War Factory will follow. Could be a reactor drop before the second, or before the move to the third expansion. But we'll have to see. Big charge of Imperial Warriors. A couple of them may get gunned down. My gosh, it takes a conscript so long, even inside of the building, to get a kill on just one Imperial Warrior. Nice scout from Dimon. He's going to see exactly what's going on. He's going to check the high ground, and then he'll confirm that, okay, yeah, that's not any kind of sneaky water expansion. It is just a regular expansion. Dragonfly hops onto that sickle and is going to be joining up with these forces as these conscripts are going to get the kill on the rest of these. Well, the Imperial Warriors will pick up a couple of conscript kills, but really the sickle is adding enough DPS to make this problematic. Switching into the Molotov cocktail mode, they're going to be able to shut down this barracks before another wall segment. No, actually, you got one more wall segment. What? The wall segments weren't quite properly placed, and so the walls are a little bit misplaced, and he didn't get the super annoying walls that he was hoping for. Mecha Bay up and running, but this is a late Mecha Bay, which means it's the first Tengu is coming on out, forcing walls as a last-ditch reactive measure. I'm in trouble, panic mode. Yikes. These are not fun walls. These are scary walls. Burst Drone does take out one of the sickles, and these... Oh, wow, that's actually a terrible spot for those conscripts to get locked up in. Now it's going to be 3 Tengus out on the field. Terror Drone able to lock down one of them, but with good micro, 2 of them, and maybe even 3 of them, or really good micro, but a 4th Tengu now out on the field, allowing this one down here in the south to go for a scout, to potentially go for a harass. He wants to stop Dimon from getting too far ahead. Keep in mind it's 3 versus 3 refinery, but you don't want to let a Soviet player run away with that when you're that scared with that much going for your defense. Super Reactor on the high ground, going to be kind of body blocking next to this refinery, and for now, the reactive armor will keep that Harvester safe. The Terror Drone will get the infect. DDF was not paying attention to get the snipe on the Terror Drone. He's just going to leave that Tengu there so that he can get the kill, or get a little bit more damage on that Ore Collector. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's shooting the wall instead of doing anything else, but this Terror Drone going to be locking down one of the Tengus. The other 2 Tengus do step on forward, trying to clear this building, taking a lot of damage, taking a little bit of damage from the conscripts. A lot is kind of a generous term when you're talking about conscript damage. And the sickle does actually end up getting killed by the Ore Collector, so that's money down the drain for Dimon DDF, mounting a decent defense here, and may actually get a free kill on a Bullfrog. No, not quite. The Terror Drone is terrible enough at locking down the movement of those Tengus and stopping them from actually being able to pursue anything. Nice micro there by Dimon, doing a good enough job of locking these guys in position and keeping that Terror Drone alive. Just costing time, wasting time for DDF. DDF would love to be actually doing something useful with these Tengus instead of just trying to move them 1 inch forward at a time. And Hammer Tanks are now here for the defense, going to be causing a big transform of these Tengus. And the Bullfrog isn't here to capitalize on that. If he was a little bit closer, then he could have gotten a kill on that loose Tengu, the one on low health. And 1 Tengu does stay back to go ahead and get the kill on this Harvester. Well, maybe won't get the kill, but certainly will do a lot of damage, and the Honorable Discharge may finish it off. Nope, goes for the Transform, doesn't want to lose the Tengu, so DDF is prioritizing keeping his army units alive, unlike some of those games with Dimon in the past where he's happy to trade out 4 or 5 Tengus in sacrifice of getting rid of 1 Harvester. In this case, DDF wants to keep every single Tengu alive and would rather let his opponent get back to harvesting a little bit sooner than do that. Letting that Tank Buster die in that situation is not good for DDF. He needs what defense he can mount. And actually going to be losing the Harvester there. It does go down, does a little bit of damage to the refinery as well. MCV taking a lot of damage in the middle of the map, going for the crushes, unable to get anything. Couple of Tank Busters in this building, going to be pushing that MCV back, and actually there's 1 Imperial Warrior. He's a brave lad to get crushed by the boot heel of Dimon as he shreds that guy into absolute dust. Grinds that guy into dust, I guess, with his friends. 3 Hammer Tanks, should be 4. Yeah, this guy's up here, so he's guarding that Harvester, making sure he gets back up and running. Maybe a... Is he really engineering? It's not that badly damaged. Refinery number 4 out on the water, and actually going to be calling in point defense drones right over there. So DDF has stabilized. That is what he wanted. He's that worried about a terror drone. He's built the naval yard, but he wanted to keep it safe, keep the harvester safe at the current moment. Bullfrogs, here they are, finally on the front line. Conscript does end up going down there. And Flak Cannon also going down on the front line. Going to be taking a lot of HP losses there. Chopper VXs need to be careful. They're kind of in range of that Bullfrog, and it looks like the naval yard won't get there in time. It's hanging out here on the high ground. That's not right. 3, even 4 Tengus down here looking for some harass at Chopper VX as well. If he gets a power plant for free, that would be nice, but he's going to be walking into a trap. He's taking a ton of damage, almost goes down, but he does escape. Just a sliver of health still on that guy. And these buildings getting absolutely destroyed by these two guys. Chopper VXs do get the kill on the terror drone, so that's nice for DDF. Needs to get his harvester back to work. Needs to get everything back to work. Needs to get that naval yard out there. And it looks like he has set it up. Could have been blocked, or could have been a little bit closer to that harvester. Hammer tank's going to be pushing on forward. One of the hammer tanks does go down. Then the MCV is here for the crush and also to absorb a lot of damage. A lot of tank buster shots, but one of these tank busters, which was heroic, goes down, hands his veterancy off to that war bear, and for now, the tank buster, the Tengus, will get trapped by that terror drone. Going to be getting killed by the leech beam as well, which is, you know, unfortunate for DDF, but great for Dimon, getting the opportunity to do a little bit more damage with that hammer tank. This is so many tsunamis doing so much damage to this MCV. They're going to go for the kill. They're diving on it, and they're going to be able to get it before it even makes it down the ramp, handing off some veterancy and making these tsunami tanks that much more difficult to kill. There's going to be the effect of one tsunami tank. He's going to be rushing forward, trying to get himself killed by these hammer tanks, and allowing the terror drone to actually die in that particular case. Terror drone does not go down. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he actually missed the kill there. That is terrible for DDF. Those of you who aren't sure, if you kill the unit that the terror drone is infected, then the terror drone dies with the unit. But if the terror drone gets the kill on the unit, then the terror drone does survive. So what you saw there was just like a very slight mistake where the terror drone did the last like 0.1% of damage. And very unfortunate there for DDF. Dimon has bought himself enough time. He's got a couple of upgraded hammer tanks, a couple of hammer tanks with extra weapons, one from a Tengu and one, it looks like, from a tsunami tank. But for now, DDF's 4 refineries are happy, they're healthy, and having killed the MCV, he knows that he's got a window of opportunity where he's actually ahead in the economy. I mean, you know, he's ahead on the fact that he can build whatever he wants. And if he can just draw this out, if he can buy time, maybe even getting up tier 3, maybe even upgrading to artillery, he could be in a pretty much, you know, unassailable kind of a position. Mixing in a couple of more tank busters may also be a good idea. Over here on the right side, on the left side rather, is where the tank busters are, and they are going for some massive damage on this ore refinery. Might actually be worth it just to sacrifice the tank busters. He's trying to draw them into the building so that they get killed, so that the sickles rather get killed by the tank busters in the building. Not going to allow these hammer tanks to step up on that ramp, and actually should jump forward. Nope, sickles are going to escape. They're going to take the jump onto the low ground. So those tsunami tanks being able to catch the sickles would have been so nice, because it opens up an opportunity for the tank busters to actually already kill that refinery. So it's already gone. Tengu's getting mixed in here. No, not Tengu's, but terror drones getting mixed in here, trying to lock down these tsunami tanks and stop them from being able to mobilize and move around. And not going to finish that battle out is Dimon. So DDF evening things up 1-1 real quick. Okay, so only 7,000, 8,000 credits ahead is DDF in that particular game, but spread across 10 minutes. I mean, most of it was in the last 3 or 4 minutes there, but he was ahead the whole time and then just slowly grew that lead. So Dimon going to be tapping out in game number 2, bringing us to a 1-1 score. Let's find out what happens in game number 3, which takes us to Fire Island for game number 3. In the top right-hand corner as the Yellow Soviets, this is Dimon. And in the south side as the Purple Empire, this is DDF. Evening things up for dojo opening. And, nope, not a 5th dojo. So, good for him. just going for those 4 dojos. Fire Island. We'll have to see. Is Dimon going to be able to make this one work? First refinery down, fast war factory after that. And, of course, the 1 barracks to get his engineer out. Got a couple of flak troopers as well, wants to try and protect that engineer from being squished. Doesn't want to give any free wins to DDF. And with these 2 guys being tied, I don't know how Dimon is feeling. I mean, dropping down 0-4, he's of course the winner bracket winner, so he was feeling good for a while, but coming into this series and just like getting wrecked in those 4 games, and then coming into this having a very clear win in game number 1, almost losing that engineer right on the cusp of death. Whew. That terror drone, he is going to get a Christmas letter from that engineer. Both of the oil derricks grabbed by DDF. And this, it's close to the best opening that DDF could have hoped for. You know, in a realistic kind of scenario, the only thing that could have gone better is crushing that engineer. If he would have gotten that engineer, it would have been smooth sailing. But, yeah, I don't know Dimon's mentality going into this new series, and, you know, a very commanding game 1, but a faltering game number 2. If he hates battle-based beta, then that's fine, because loser gets to choose the map. So, in that particular case, if your opponent is feeling really confident on battle-based beta, and you're kind of like, it's a whatever map, you don't like it, then maybe you can bypass that loss, and you can just be like, who cares? I hate that map, it's no good. I'm now going to go to Fire Island, where I know I'm going to crush him. Crane gets dropped. Super Reactor on the follow-up at that. So 3 and 4 refineries could come up in quick succession. I assume this engineer is still inside of there. 1 Tengu did end up going down, crashing to the ground there. So, again, keeping the Tengu cloud thin. Keeping it from getting to overwhelming numbers is very important. Terror Drone is here to potentially get the lock on these Tengus and stop them from advancing. Hammer Tank on the way, maybe. A 4th Tengu makes this dangerous, makes this difficult. A little bit more damage, but no, the repair drones are here, and nice defense there by Dimon. Circling around, juking these Tengus while the Hammer Tank gets up and running. Pretty close to a perfect response there from Dimon. And now he's going to fire the engineer, and the engineer may get sniped by this Tengu anyways. May not actually matter. Is he going to... Wow. That is an engineer that came close to death, I think, 3 different times. And close to death maybe even 1,000 more times beyond that, but like, he almost got sniped by that Tengu just there, and then the Tengu didn't, I guess, wasn't on cooldown to transform and get the kill while he was waiting to capture. So that is a dangerous, dangerous game to play. Perhaps even the most dangerous game. Tier 2 Mecha Bay, up and rocking, but a 3rd refinery guarded by a couple of Tengus. It's what makes DDF sleep soundly at night. Ooh, an extra dojo core as well. Potentially get an engineer out for the recap. Always an annoying thing to have happen. Tengu in the north going for the harass. 3rd refinery up and running, but of course, when you've got that crane, you need the extra income. Losing the oil derrick, no fun. No fun at all. Of course, you're going to be able to, in the long run, get lots of repairs on your ore collector, and Tengu harass won't matter quite as much, especially when you've got that flak cannon to get the kill there. So that is nice for Dimon. Even a Sputnik. Wow. He's not going to move his MCV? That was earlier, yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going big with Dimon. Oh, Terror Drone. He's going to be able to actually run away. This is not the Tengu gets the kill. He was potentially dancing quite nicely there, but no. The Tengu gets the kill. Tsunami Tank going to be getting leeched, almost half of its health gone before this engagement even commences. Bears, are they going to be able to get the roars off that they need? Terror Drone gets the Infect out on the water, so third refinery up and running for Dimon, but DDF's third refinery isn't yielding any beneficial results. Redrafts the Harvester, it's a quarter of the way, and Dimon drops his fourth refinery. Things are coming up Dimon, swinging back and forth these two guys. Who is in control, who is in command in this series? And in this case, it is not like that first set in this grand final. He even recapped the oil derrick. Look at that from Dimon. He's got 5 bears running through the middle of the map. 2 bullfrogs here to support these hammer tanks against 4 tsunami tanks. Now, it comes down to a lot how this engagement ends up working out, because the Chopper VX could absolutely swing things into the favor of DDF, but the Terror Drone gets 1 infect. Could be a chain of infects if he's not careful. A couple of flak troopers maybe. No flak troopers, so this hammer tank goes down. Nicely done. The Terror Drone gets sacrificed. It looks like no, he's actually going to activate the speed boost, get it back to repairs barely in time. And that keeps 1 tsunami tank out of the engagement. Sacrifices 1, even 2 tank busters to this twin blade, and the third will escape as these Tengus cut in and have to leave because of the flak cannon. 1 Chopper VX in a dangerous position. The airfield is, of course, here, but we don't see any MiGs hanging out on it. And don't really see any MiGs hanging out in the world either, just a couple of twin blades. Wall does go down, gets leeched down immediately. And these hammer tanks, they are here to stay, but they're getting delayed just a little bit there by those wall segments, not letting anything go up, not letting DDF get any kind of space clearing with these walls. Tank Buster does go down, which is really the job of those bears. Hammer tanks aren't worried that much about Imperial Warriors, certainly not in so few numbers. Walls are now here, which makes Leech Beam impossible, and another infect on that ore collector, and he's not even going to try and save it. He doesn't restart it immediately, and this, oh my gosh, the Terror Drone doesn't escape. It will, oh boy, it almost got another infect. What a game that Dimon is having with his Terror Drones, getting so much more value than we saw in the past. A couple of tank busters going to try and do something here, but the combo of bullfrogs, twin blades, and hammer tanks is so difficult to deal with from this kind of a position. No easy position of strength. You're down on economy. You can't get your third refinery to harvest consistently, and look at that, he's stopped up. So adding on a naval yard this late in the game would be close to impossible. Terror Drone, once again, out on the water, looking for an opportune angle, looking for an opportune moment. Right when this harvester pops, he's going to be immediately under threat. And DDF may not have noticed with all of this attack that's going on in the middle of the map. He has sent 1 Tengu over there to try and grab it. Twin Blade's going to be coming in. They're going to be losing potentially to the Chopper VXs, but the Tengu's also losing in the middle of the map, dropping into the middle of the hammer tanks. A nice use of their splash damage to get as much as he possibly can, but DDF has been defeated. No strength left in this game, and Dimon will go up 2-1 in this new series. Dimon able to take the victory back on Fire Island, but just like in game number 1, are we now going to see the comeback of DDF in game number 4, which is on Cabana Republic. And on the left side, as the Purple Empire, this is DDF. On the right side, as the Yellow Soviets, showing us some real powerhouse play, this is Dimon. Dimon taking control back in this series. DDF having some troubles, but he can still show good games, and he can certainly win as Empire. Once again, with the MCV reposition there. Going to get his 2 refineries up. Just going the 2 dojos for now. Not going to be doing anything too wild or crazy. And Mecha Bay looks like in the southern location. So no Mecha Bay up here. Nothing too weird like that. But, yep. Combat Engineer is going to have plenty of time to grab that oil derrick before this second dojo, which has to really hang out with this first dojo and stop the bear from getting the kill on the Engineer. So, long time before that dojo could ever make it over here to try and kill that Engineer. And I mean, in that case, you really can't go for the 2 dojo opening. MCV now on the move to the high ground, and pretty standard for DDF, pretty normal, everything hunky-dory. War Factory into the Super Reactor for Dimon. Looks like it was War Factory a little bit later. Going to be grabbing a couple of buildings around the map, and actually gets the infect on the dojo, so that is very frustrating for DDF to deal with. Couple of Tengus sharking around. They're going to be seeing the timing of that Super Reactor, also seeing the close proximity of that Super Reactor, so we'll have to see. Hero Warrior immediately gets the kill on Terror Drones. They're good units, but they are oh so fragile as he heads towards the middle of the map. MCV set up on the high ground. Third Refinery going to be popping pretty shortly. And a bear will get killed by a Tengu. As the famous poem goes, and a Tengu will kill a bear on a partridge in a pear tree. Something like that. I know it's a very famous poem. You've all heard it. Another Terror Drone going down. So DDF, he's going to be keeping his Harvesters safe this game. Unlike that last game where it was just like, sacrifice as many Harvesters as we can. Maybe it'll make the Terror Drones so lazy and fat that we can then kill them that way. This bear juking around this observation post from this Tengu. This is a bear who has been very well trained in survival, and oh my gosh, he's going to make a run for the water. Unfortunately, Imperial Warriors don't swim, but unfortunately for him, Tengus do. Or I guess they don't swim, but they hover, and that's good enough. This is absurd. I cannot believe that this bear managed to juke a Tengu, a literal transformer, and draw him that far out of position. That was silly. Tengu in the top right-hand corner, always keeping an eye on things, always going for a moment of harass if he can. Tier 2 is up for DDF. Chopper VX heading to the middle of the map, and one Hammer Tank going to be going down. The Bullfrog unable to save it, but he did buy a lot of time. The Bullfrog got very close to killing that Chopper VX. The second Bullfrog might get it. No, he barely does not, but this Flak Trooper in that building also very close to getting a kill on that Chopper VX. MCV on the move. I assume DDF was able to spot that with a vision from his Chopper VXs, which means a 4th Refinery up and coming is most likely going to be what's happening for Dimon. So DDF should know about that. He should know that it's going to be 4 refineries very soon. He himself has brought his MCV back down to the south after getting his 3rd refinery up and running. Bullfrogs, Terror Drone going to be scaring away whatever was over here, potentially a couple of Tengus. And these Chopper VXs, they have finally made it back to the Mecha Bay. They desperately need to get repaired up before the next engagement. Infantry in the middle of the map, Imperial Warriors splitting themselves to these various buildings. You know, Imperial Warriors, they don't do a ton of damage, but they do enough damage, especially garrisoned inside of a building, to be dangerous to Bullfrogs. Not that dangerous. I mean, you can't fly your Tengus into them. Kind of dangerous. Losing a Tengu, unfortunate for DDF. You can probably spare 1 or 2 Tengus at this point in the game, but you definitely don't want to be giving them away. And the Docks Corps does get spotted, which means Docks before Refinery. And in this case, it means no Terror Drones can get the drop on this refinery. Well, actually, they could get the drop on the Refinery when it's in core mode, and that could actually be deadly. But they won't get the drop on the Harvesters, and if they do, it won't even matter, so... Flak Cannon up to defend against Chopper VXs, always a good choice. Of course, Yari mini-subs may also be brought to bear by DDF in a couple of minutes. And the Refinery Corps does get spotted, but there's no Terror Drone here to take advantage of that. And with the Naval Yard already up and running, then he can just get the repairs anyways. And actually, I guess it's technically better to let the Naval Yard give you the repairs. And actually, this Hammer Tank, too close to the Tank Busters in that building. There's a big transform of those Tengus. They're going to be looking to do what they can against the Bullfrogs and really just keeping them away from the Chopper VXs. That is all that these Chopper VXs ask. Keep the Bullfrogs away from us. Now, keep in mind, there is going to be a Tesla coil. There is a flak cannon down in the south there by that expansion, going to be pushing all of these conscripts out of these buildings and potentially even putting some damage on these Bullfrogs. But the flak trooper in that civilian structure, these getting cleared out by the Desolator airstrike, but the flak trooper in the civilian structure are going to be pushing these Tengus back in the north. Another Tengu harass potential. No, he's going to pull away. He sees the flak cannon, he sees the hammer tank, and 4 refineries up for both of these guys. 2 oil derricks for DDF, so he's claimed those. He's got them under his control, and he's now going to be pushing this conscript, this one lonely conscript, who is really just terrified in that building, trying not to die, and will eventually go down to the Chopper VXs. Terror Drone going to be locking this ore collector down. Yeah, you can't infect it because it'll immediately get healed and you'll have wasted a Terror Drone. But oops, that Yari mini-sub goes down. But that means that the special ability has already been used by that Akula sub and he can't use it on any of the structures. Leech Beam going to be activated on some of these Tsunami tanks, going to be pushing them away for now. Imperial Warrior is going to be getting split against these hammer tanks, forcing them to run all over the place, and the Chopper VXs kill that Akula sub before it can do any real damage. It absorbed a couple of Yari mini-subs, but that is not a big deal at all. Harvester gets back to work, the Terror Drone gets to survive, everyone is happy, and the Terror Drone will come back in about a minute to lock down that Harvester as well. So, you know, you got to get your Harvester harassment on when you can, and this Yari mini-sub should be able to get the kill. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. He finally booped him. He got it eventually. It took a little minute, but, you know, he got it. 7 Tsunami tanks to the north of the map. You guys know how the poem goes. 7 Tsunami tanks on Christmas Day. 3 geese a lane, something like that. Yeah, you guys know how it goes, but this is a dangerous hit squad for a single Harvester to deal with. Buying enough time until the hammer tanks show up, but there are a couple of Tengus here as well to go for the kill, and this may not be a good angle of engagement, well, really for either one of these players, but he's going to go for the ore refinery and then try and cut and run. Tank Busters, or Terror Drone rather, going to be getting the freeze on that Tengu, allowing I think this Tengu is supposed to get out of here or something, allowing Dimon to get a couple of extra kills and even going to be leeching down. Well, I guess he gets the kill on the Tengu as well. It's just gifting day, apparently. Gifting day for some of these guys. Akula sub hanging out, pushing that Harvester away. And, you know, you can use your special torpedo ability to do some big damage to this Imperial docks, but it's not going to be enough by itself to get the kill on it. Yari mini-sub is going to show up, do a little bit of damage, and will be able to eventually kill this Akula sub. It will take a minute. As you can see, they do so little damage, it's kind of funny. But, of course, if they suicide themselves, they do a whole lot more damage to the Akula subs. But that's kind of a one-and-done sort of situation. These other Akula subs will be able to clean up the Yaris without too much trouble, and the Chopper VXs are looking over them. Ooh, giving away 2 Tank Busters to the Toxins. That guy is like on the edge of death, just courting destruction. And if he takes like half a step forward, he is going to die. The building does get cleared. Always a nice benefit of the Desolator airstrike. Tsunami Tank's going to be stepping forward. There are Tank Busters in this building as well, so they're getting some free damage done. But 2 Terror Drones going to be locking down 2 Tsunami Tanks. And, well, it's really the Tesla Troopers who are doing the damage. This is an impressive Soviet army, a terrifying Soviet army. I guess it's just the 1 Terror Drone, but locking down 2 Tsunami Tanks there very nicely. Refinery does go down. Dimon is in control, and he is looking to make his lead that much bigger. He's looking to go up 3-1 against DDF, and currently he looks like he can do it. He's got the crane over here. He's got all of those free repairs. He is feeling good about himself. And a couple of Tesla coils, 1 on land, 1 by sea, or 2 by sea, something like that. You guys know the poem. You know what I'm talking about. Forced to sell off that barracks. You didn't need it, but forced to sell it off anyways. War Factory up to Tier 3, Wave Force Artillery, and a fresh refinery out here. Ooh, do not run that refinery that close. Wave Force Tower. These hammer tanks, they don't realize the opportunity that they have, but the Akula subs are here. Oh, that was so close to disaster as that refinery stepped almost into the jaws of these Akula subs. One Akula sub might go down before it submerges, and no, not enough time. They're going to dive on the Wave Force Artillery. What is this Wave Force Artillery shooting? A building. He trades his life for a building. As those bullfrogs getting some nice shots off on the Chopper VX as they do manage to escape, transforming onto land, and they're going to try and guard from these twin blades. But yikes, DDF has just been getting manhandled by Dimon. It's just not like we saw in those other games. Dimon is in a totally different mental state, a totally different form, and he's going to be pushing in, and Twin Blades, they're taking what shots they can. That's all they need to do. They just need to whittle away at this army. They just need to weaken it. Terror Drone going to be locking one of the King Onis in place while the Twin Blades show up to do a little bit of damage, work down some of those point defense drones, and these hammer tanks need to buy some time. And it's like, if they engage the King Oni straight up, they might end up losing, but this is so many hammer tanks that it may not even matter. Every single unit you can bleed away. Stop the tank busters from engaging with this army. Every unit counts. And, well, it looks like Emperor's Rage is actually going to be slowing the hammer tank, trying to catch them. Desolator airstrike means there's no retreat, but also reinforcements are going to be weak as the King Onis charge, but they just get wasted. So much firepower coming out from our Soviet player, and that is the double-edged sword that is Emperor's Rage. You think you're being clever, you think you're being cute when you use it to catch your opponents, to charge them down, but they just ruin your army, walking into the toxins, adding insult to injury as Dimon charges ahead in control and decimating this force. Going to leech down tsunami tanks just to add insult to injury and to take the guns into his own hands. Walls are a time-buying tactic for winners. They're a sign of desperation from the loser. And this would be an amazing comeback for DDF to pull it back, and it will not happen as Dimon takes game number 4. A commanding style, a confident victory from Dimon, playing smart, playing sharp, and not in the economy game, but simply outplaying his opponent. And now things are feeling good for our winners bracket champion. It feels like he has finally regained some of that mojo that he had, that he just got slapped out of him in the first part of the grand final. Let's continue on to the next game in this series, which is on Temple Prime. On the left, as our Soviet player, this is Dimon. Wow, Crane first. Okay. On the right, as the Purple Empire, this is Deep Dark Fantasy. Alright, so DDF, he's feeling good as Empire, or at least he was. Maybe not so much anymore. Gonna be walling in the Crane with this refinery. And that is a full wall off. Ore refineries going down in tandem. And this will all be spotted by the Dragonfly, aka the Burst Drone, going for the Scout. Now keep in mind, for Dimon, he's in the position of strength. Now that this is a double best of 7, we know that he is at match point. 3-1, and, you know, feeling good about it. So, even when you're on match point, you can be a little bit more loosey-goosey, especially if you don't like Temple Prime as a map. If you know, hate Temple Prime and think it's terrible, then, yeah, go for a Crane first build. Do whatever you want, because that's the kind of game you can play when you're up in a series. Personally, I'm a big fan of ace matches. I'm a big fan of going the distance. In fact, I would love to see DDF bust out a comeback, bring us to a 3-3, send us into a game number 7. I think that'd be lovely. Walls going down, a fresh refinery going down, Imperial Warriors showing up, and a dojo core as well. So DDF, his plan looks pretty standard from the onset. Getting those 2 refineries, getting himself 2 oil derricks as well. War Factory going down after third. No, he canceled third refinery, so he's like, all right, whatever. I'm going to cancel that 3rd refinery, going to move my MCV. Forget about the walls, who cares? And actually, this dojo is kind of in a dangerous position considering that the bear is here, but there are a lot of Imperial Warriors that could kill this bear. I assume this is going to be a sickle popping on out for Dimon. He is marching all the way with his MCV, so an engineer pops out. No, he actually sells it immediately, so he gets the hammer tank. He's going to be going for the crush. He's going to get the kill on this engineer as well, which is just nice. I mean, forcing your opponent to waste that money. And drops a Tesla coil, drops a barracks. He says, you're going to try and cap my stuff. I'm going to try and cap yours. Oh my gosh. Packs up the MCV, and the engineer gets crushed. Dimon. Oh, he dropped a Tesla coil, and this is a Chopper VX, so the perfect time to tech up to Tier 2, apparently. I didn't even realize that he made it that far. The burst drone is actually getting repaired by that Mecha Bay, and a Tesla coil is lovely. Oh, he gets the kill on a 3rd Chopper VX. A great move there by that MCV. Even the Harvester coming off the line to do a little bit of damage and try and kill this Flak Trooper as the barracks, 2nd barracks rather, does go down. A 3rd Chopper VX shows up. They're going to get the kill on that hammer tank. This is such a weird game, but these crane builds sometimes work out. This one is looking very weird and very desperate, as there is going to be even the sell-off of that MCV. He's going for the desperate cap on the Mecha Bay, forcing the sell-off of the Mecha Bay. Well, I guess that's it. I guess, so now it's 2-3 DDF versus Dimon, and that was a weird one. I'm guessing Dimon doesn't like Temple Prime. I'm guessing that that he's fine with how that game went. When you're up in a series, if you can end it quickly and then go to your map choice, or if you end it quickly and have to go to your map choice, that's good because you're on match point. And if you end it quickly and get a hilarious championship victory, then that's also good for you. So 3-2, we'll have to see. Can DDF bring it back in potentially our last game? But this one was also potentially our last game, so somehow I don't think Dimon's going to do that, though. Let's find out in game number 6. Which takes us to Industrial Strength. In the bottom left-hand corner, this is the Yellow Soviets going for something unorthodox in that last game. This is Dimon. In the top right-hand corner, as the Purple Empire, this is DDF. Now, the prize for both of these guys is a guaranteed $45. First place is $65, so either one of these guys has already won themselves $45. And Rage of Heat making it a pretty wide spread. The first 4, I believe, all get a payout. And, you know, $65 is nice, but this is not a super top-heavy tournament. This is not a super top-heavy prize pool, rather. And 3 conscripts going down. Even a Flak Trooper may go down, yeah. So that was actually pretty nice. Gets 5 conscripts and a Flak Trooper for the price of 1 dojo, but also a heroic conscript over here. So putting out a little extra DPS, and the bear getting a couple of kills as well. Dimon has looked in control in this new series. DDF has definitely been faltering fast. War Factory for Dimon. You're going to be following it up with another refinery, and then potentially a lovely third refinery after that, but we'll have to see. Imperial Warrior gets killed by the bear, which means this engineer can safely cap that oil derrick, and this one over there will be captured by DDF. So a lovely 1-to-1 split of the oil derricks, and the garage is actually going to be recaptured now by Dimon. So he will get that. It looks like DDF may be setting up another dojo to go ahead and get that back. Oh! I didn't... Okay, so I assumed Dimon didn't like Temple Prime and he was going to play more regular. So he sells off his MCV, and it looks like this sickle is potentially going to be getting crushed here. So that's why grabbing that, keeping control of that garage is even going to be more important than grabbing it just the once. And those bears are certainly going to allow that to happen. Now these sickles getting repairs from that garage, giving this attack so much more power than it would otherwise have. And these sickles are going to be getting targeted down here. Imperial Warrior going down there, but Bears keeping this dojo locked down. One Bullfrog here, which means no transform. Oh my gosh! Oh my word! That, Dimon, you cruel, cruel man. What a way to take it back after getting 0-4'd by DDF in that first set, to take it back with a crane first and follow it up with an MCV sell all in. Take your opponent's Mecha Bay and sell it off in front of him. Holy cow, I cannot believe Dimon did that in 3 minutes. He wraps up for the win, 71. A big old double elimination bracket, and it comes down to a 3-minute game on industrial strength. You have to give it to Dimon. He's got style. He brought that to bear here, and I don't know if the style was motivated by, I'm tired, I want to get this over with, I don't care that much, or if it was motivated by, you 0-4'd me, now I am going to crush you with humiliation. What a series. I hope you guys enjoyed this double best of 7 extended series. What a weird one to go out on. But that wraps us up for the win, 71. If there are any sick games, I'm going to try and cast them individually. But that will wrap it up for this series, for this tournament officially. And congratulations to Dimon, but man, did DDF show some great games throughout this tournament. A big shout out to DDF, and of course, Rage of Heat, a huge thank you to him for organizing and running this whole thing. Big props to him. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out.